Greetings, everyone. This is Light of Tabor. I'm your host, Mark Rattel, and we are back with our first returning guest. We had my wife back, but that was more like a two-part episode. This was our last guest a couple months back, and since we've had Hello Listener on, a lot has happened. He started a show called Ortho Thugs with Jimbob, and he's just kind of blowing up and becoming YouTube famous. So we thought we'd have him back on and talk about what's going on and say what's up. So what's up, Hello Listener?
Hey, how you doing, bro? It's good to see you again.
How's it going, brother? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. We're out here thriving in the wilderness.
Nice. I'm out here thriving in the void.
I could dig the background, man. That's unique.
Yeah,
so,
it was
man,
just a little PNG that I had left after doing some work yesterday. I was like, I had to think of something quick because I've been kind of running all over the place. But I think
you're busy, man. You're a busy man lately. You're in high demand all of a sudden.
Yeah, dude, it's because of you. You know that, right? You know it's because of you. Like I can map the entire trajectory. I literally know everything that happened. That now I'm like becoming like this sort of,
It's a trip to watch, man. It's crazy to watch. All glory to God, man. God's the one doing it. But yeah, he definitely is working through people and makes some weird kind of providential things happen that are like that couldn't happen without God, kind of thing.
That's true. That's true. Glory to God.
But honestly, man, you've been making a lot of good art for a while now, and it's like I think you're finally getting the recognition that you deserve. You're finally, I don't know, you're just finding the right audience. The right people are finding you. You're finding the right people. It's all just kind of happening all at the right time. It's kind of cool to watch.
Yeah, that's always been the issue. The issue has always been if I make the art I want, then I don't know who else wants it. And if I make the art they want, then I hate myself. And so there's always been like this really difficult line that I'm always trying to follow. And it's been like this forever. And so the good thing about YouTube is once I started doing YouTube, I just kind of like made I kind of agreed with myself that this is not I don't care. I'm going to do it exactly as it is. It's going to be really me. It's not going to be
nice.
A compromised version of me that caters to the public.
Right. No, that's how I try to make my art. I try to make something that I would want to watch, that I would want to listen to. And I figure if I do that, there's got to be somebody else out there that's going to like vibe with it, the right people. Because if it's like, if I'm making something that's not me and then those people vibe with it, I'm like not going to vibe with those people because it's not me.
Yeah.
That makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be like, I'm going to build like a fake community built on a false premise of like a false idea, of who I am.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't work out.
I've done that a couple times.
I think I've done that before too. I didn't even really notice that it was happening. I was kind of like changing as it was going on and getting caught up in the heat of the moment. And then I was like, how did we get here? And I was like, holy crap, I've become like a kind of tyrannical leader of some sort. like you're banned.
I just found myself being formed by the algorithm and the perceptions of people's opinions.
Yeah,
I found myself becoming whatever got me the most likes and stuff like that. And it just like over time back in Brooklyn, over time it just started to like change who I was till I was a stranger to myself, and I was like so unhappy, you know. And it's like I guess in my head I never, maybe it's like in my head I don't think that I have like a lot of self-doubt, if I'm being honest. And so I think that I can't be me, I find it really hard. Like if I'm me, then they won't like it. So I have to figure out some other thing to be.
Right. Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel that 100%, man. I've gone through similar things. Like I'm still kind of going through it all. Still working it out.
Really?
Like figuring. Yeah, for sure. I go through a lot of self-doubt, man, for sure. Definitely. Some people like get surprised, like, oh, that doesn't come across that way. But I mean, yeah, no, I definitely am always like doubting myself and just kind of trying to hype myself back up, stay positive minded to kind of like block out. Cause but then with Orthodoxy, the lens of Orthodoxy, it helps me like put things into a proper perspective. Like, oh, no, that's a lie. That's a lie from the evil one. That's not from me. That's a lie from the evil one. And then when you have that, man, it's so powerful for people like me who have a lot of self-doubt. And it's like, it's not even self-doubt. It's like, it's the evil one it's not even me doubting myself. It's the evil one trying to implant thoughts in my head. And once I get that separation, it's like, bam, I could just kind of block it out.
Yeah,
you know,
dude, I don't think I could have done this until I became. I'm sure. Like all of this started once I became Orthodox, bro. I'm 41. I've been doing this for a very long time, but I've been doing it plagued with self-doubt and no tools to overcome it. I just lived in it.
Right.
And now I recognize exactly what you're saying. I recognize what's coming from without and what's coming from within. I recognize when something is a demonic attack, and it just pushes me to prayer. That's all it does. And the more I pray, the less I concern myself with outcomes, and the more I just trust God.
Exactly. So, Tony, you got a new show, Ortho Thugs. How did this come to be? You got a show with Jimbob, dude, made by Jimbob. I've been watching this guy for years. I mean, he makes awesome art. Comedian. He's Orthodox. You got a show with Jimbob. This is wild. And like, it just happened in the last few months. You know, it's pretty cool. Since last time you've been on, it's like you guys did your first episode. Maybe if in the editing I might show like a preview or something. I might cut that in here. I might do that.
Give me crack code and I don't care. You kidding me?
What the heck is this crap? I don't think so.
Ayo, Tony, drop the beat.
Shout out to the moon and the clouds and the earth.
Oh yeah. You made it, baby. I told you.
Is this really happening?
It's now or never. I'm going to explode.
Quit your job.
This is serious.
Come on in.
I can't believe it.
We did it.
I feel so free right now.
Yeah, like how'd this come to fruition?
I want to tell you because I do think you played a part in it. So our last talk, I went to the premiere with you, and we hung out in the chat during the premiere. And then Slow Boy showed up during the premiere, and I've been trying
Slow Boy Whiteboard, yeah,
I've been trying to get Slow Boy's attention since I started a channel. I'd like send her stuff, but it's like impossible because I
right.
Like I just comment like, "Hey, I made a video," and like I don't know, but I've been trying to get her attention forever because I've always subscribed to her, and I've always thought she was cool. So
yeah,
the fact that she was there was like, what the heck is happening? Why is Slow Boy here? And you're like, oh yeah, me and Slow Boy, we go way back. I was like, oh okay, and so then she saw my show. And she started pushing it to like all these other people who eventually pushed it to Jimbob. Provo, I think specifically, like she showed it to Provo. And then when I watch Provo's show, I'm watching Provo's show and he like shouts me out. And it was like, whoa, this is cool. Like, no,
right?
That's kind of crazy. And then Jimbob was there and Provo literally said, Jimbob, subscribe to hEllolisTENER. And then within a couple, I'd say within a month, Jimbob was like commenting that this was his favorite show.
I saw that, dude. I was like, what's happened? This is crazy. This is so cool.
Yeah. So I immediately changed the title of my YouTube channel, the description to Jimbob's favorite show.
I saw that.
And then I don't know. We just started joking back and forth. And like the second we got on a call together, it was like I don't know, dude. We're both like Northeast Sicilian Irish. It was like we just spoke the same language immediately. There was never even, it's just I don't know. It was immediately simpatico. I don't know how to explain it.
Nice.
But yeah, he just called me up one day. He messaged me on Twitter. He's like, hey, I want to do a show with you. I was like, what the hell? That's awesome. Okay. I said it would be an honor. And
Right.
now here we are. 2 weeks later, we started doing Ortho Thugs.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, no, it's got like kind of a Tim and Eric vibe.
Yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of like I mean, I like Tim and Eric a lot, but I mean, they had that falling out with Sam Hyde, where like
Yeah,
Tim,
yeah.
you follow that whole thing? That was weird. But I think Tim Heidecker, if I'm not mistaken, is like he's kind of like a lefty or something along those lines. Or
Yeah,
I'm not really
they're both of the tribe, and
right. Yeah, yeah. Oh, they're of the tribe. Oh, okay, that
yeah,
makes even
yeah.
more sense. That makes a lot of sense now.
I think
Okay,
so.
everything makes sense now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's got that kind of quirky, like abstract art comedy kind of vibe. I don't know what category to put it in. I don't know if anybody knows what category to put it in, but it's fun, dude. And I was really enjoying the first episode, and that you guys had really cool chemistry together, and just kind of awkward moments, and like the editing, and just the artistic styles of both of you guys kind of clashing together and like working together. It's like an explosion of like orthodox abstract awesomeness.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah,
the inspiration is. Like, I never really watched Tim and Eric, if I'm being honest,
yeah.
but I did
I
watch.
watched them a lot
I
back in the
watched
day.
them recently. Like recently, I started watching. Well, not them. I watched those videos on YouTube of them laughing at their own skits because
Oh,
I
okay.
just
I haven't
I like
even seen
watching.
that.
Yeah, they lately they play their own stuff and just like crack up about it. And I don't know. It's like, it's fun watching people laugh. So I've been watching those occasionally, but I think like, a lot of what the visuals and stuff are is just if you like it's just kind of what I've always done with my music videos and everything. It's just kind of sometimes I play with brokenness and stuff like
Nice. I like that
if you
concept.
yeah, like instead of like trying to cover up all the bad parts, it's fun to like highlight them. I don't know why,
Yep.
but I find
Yep.
I used to do it on if you go like my old YouTube channel, there was this artist, The Violence, that I produced, and we were
Right.
filming a music video one day on like this weird camera that like has like a balance thing. I forget what they call it. And all of a sudden the camera started going haywire and it turned back on the person filming and they were like, oh, and and the guy filming, I don't know if he was upset about this, but I was like, that's part of the video. I like that. Like, I want you to see, because first it looked really cool and she was like doing her thing. And then all of a sudden
Yeah.
the light person, the person with the camera, all this stuff showed up. And I was like, that's staying in, keeping that in there. It's just
Nice.
like, we have all these weird limitations. It's not like limitations. It's more like, unless you want to go to school for it and spend like your all this time trying to like edit out the things that happen naturally with modern equipment. I don't know. The modern equipment, the weird. I mean, Brian Eno said this. Sorry, I'm almost done. But like
No, no, no,
Brian
you're
Eno,
good.
said this, that, like the lo-fi stuff from a certain era will become like the sound of the next era. Like the things that are mistakes from back then become the sort of defining sounds later on. And so right now they're like, oh,
Hmm.
I have to cover all this up. And it's like, you can get ahead of the game if you don't try and cover up the glitches, because the glitches signify the era itself.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of hip hop was kind of like originated from like a mistake, like someone playing around with a record and then the
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that was like an
Hip hop
accident.
originated from a mistake. You heard it here first.
Quote it. Quote that. It's true though. It kind of did, you know. It just kind of a lot of beautiful things kind of happen in an accidental way, like just naturally without even really trying to be what they become. But I was thinking about like being like an artist and being orthodox is something I've thought about a lot. Like, is it hard for you to navigate being an artist, being orthodox, like how to do
No,
both those things and balance both those things, or separate them, or how do you navigate it? It's difficult for me. It's a difficult thing
I've
for
never
myself.
I've never felt more free. I had a much harder time being an artist, being a creative when I wasn't Orthodox during the
Right.
different stages of my life, because there was all this internal pressure and
Yeah.
turmoil about what I was supposed to do, what I wasn't supposed to do. Um, And you know, even when I was like kind of like a Protestant, it was like it was up to me. It was up to me what the guidelines were, and I would always have all this nonsense in my head that was so confusing. I always felt like I was betraying myself. I would just feel free now. I just make whatever I want. I have like things that I don't want to do, like I don't want to curse.
Yeah.
You
know, that's a big thing for me.
Like, you know, I may, yeah, I don't want to say, I just, you know, I mean, I say some extreme stuff in my music and on my show, but it's more like a lot of times it's playful and sometimes it's like, I don't know, it's from the heart, you know, and it feels like it needs to be said. And so I just don't, I feel free, man. I don't feel any constraints. I'm in the church. Whatever I do, it's just not, there's no internal conflict anymore. I'm just operating from the church that Christ planted. And if I go too far, then, you know, God will let me know and I'll repent. You know what I mean? So it's just, there's nothing in my way, bro.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, no, it's like when I first became Orthodox and I was like still freestyling, it was a big, like I had to stop rapping because I mean, like when you're freestyling, it's just kind of like your thoughts are just kind of free flowing. And it's like, if you haven't gone deep enough in the faith and really like established yourself in the faith, your subconscious mind is not going to be trained to the point where you cannot refrain from cursing when you're just like freestyling. So I had to like step back and like dive into the faith, take a step away from making art or anything like rapping, anything like that, and then kind of come back to it after being established in the faith and try to learn how to do it without cursing while being like a lot more conscious of like what I was saying, you know. And it's it was hard for me, but I feel like I've gotten to a place where I can do it, where I can at least freestyle without cursing for the most part, you know what I mean? I'll have a slip up here and there, but I think I've gotten to a place where I'm pretty comfortable and where I could rap in front of like a group of Orthodox people and just like, you know, and not be ashamed of what's coming out, which is it wasn't easy for me to get there, you know.
It's really impressive. I was very impressed when I've seen your freestyles. Like, whoa, he's freestyling and he's not saying demonic crap, and it's good.
Right.
Like I was really.
Well, you should hear some of my old ones. Some of them are, you know, a little. They can go off.
Well, because it's easy, you know. You want to fall back on those certain words. I've never been good at freestyling. The only time I was ever good at freestyling was when I was like high and being possessed by a demon. So I just
that's where a lot of it started for me.
If I have like a hood accent right now, I just made I just made a rap song just now, and it's kind of like there's like I'm kind of the tail end of that is fading off. I think my voice is starting to come back.
Oh, that's funny. I do that too sometimes. I'll get into like accent. I think we talked about this before. Like I pick up accents from like if I'll start talking about hip hop, I'll start talking to you like I'm like Talib Kweli or something, like yo dog, you know, like, and then I'll just I don't know. I'll go into really another personality if the topic changes.
Yeah. If I watch like British movies for a couple days, I have the sickest British accent.
Dude, I can't. It's hard for me to watch those, dude. Like the accent distracts me, depending on how thick it is. Yeah, depending on how thick it is. I mean, I could do like Monty Python stuff just because like I love Terry Gilliam and a lot of those old school sketches. But it just depends on how thick the accent is. It could throw me off for sure.
I pretty much only watch like British stuff. If I'm not gonna watch something, I pretty much only watch. It's cozy.
There's some
and
good
white.
stuff. There's some good stuff though. There's some good stuff. What's that? Did you ever see that? I think it's a sketch comedy show called The Young Ones from like the 80s or 90s, something like that. You might want to check that out. That's pretty cool. That was a pretty cool one. We used to play that in the video store back in the day. The old video store.
I like Would I Lie to You? Have you ever seen Would I Lie to You?
It sounds familiar, but I don't know if I've seen it. What is that?
It's just a really silly, garish game show from the UK, and it's got David Mitchell and this other guy, and they're both so incredibly witty. And then there's a bunch of guests on, and they tell each other things, and the people guess if it's a lie or true. And it's just like they're just being funny, man. They're just being like really witty the whole time, and it's it's just very British, man. I don't know. I love that stuff. I love like I don't know, man. It's just really cozy and white. Like the David Mitchell did like another show where he called there was this show called Ludwig where he was like this puzzle guy who gets hired by the cops to solve crimes because he's good at puzzle. Man, I love that crap. It's so stupid. I don't have to think a single thought. I could just watch it and enjoy it, you know? I love that.
Yeah. I like that coziness, that cozy feeling. I have a lot of movies that fall into the, like the cozy. I used to have like a whole shelf of just like cozy films for when it's like rainy or I'm like a little like maybe I'm just like not feeling it, or it's just like I just need something to kind of hit that spot, you know. I have like the cozy film section, like VHS. What would be one of my favorites is probably like Can't Buy Me Love. Can't Buy Me Love's a good 90s one. It's like a rom-com kind of coming of age. That one's fun. I got a bunch of them. Karate Kid, even Karate Kid or Karate Kid 3 is a huge like comfort film for me, you know? Yeah. That one kind of hits the spot. What's your favorite film? Do you have a favorite film of all time? Favorite movie? Or maybe top three favorite movies?
When I was a kid, my favorite movie was 12 Monkeys. Do you remember
12 Monkeys with Bruce Willis. Yeah. I know that one. I'm very familiar with that one. Definitely. That's a tripped out film.
Yeah, my top 3 when I was a kid were 12 Monkeys, Fifth Element.
Oh, another Bruce Willis weird kind of sci-fi. That would be a good double feature right there.
Yeah. And maybe Dark City. Do you remember Dark
City?
Oh,
I know Dark City. Yeah, I know Dark City. Yeah, those all kind of have a vibe that could go together.
I was really I don't follow stories. You know, my brain's not so good, Paisio. So I don't really follow stories. I just get into
I don't follow stories either. I get into like oh, there's a cool I was weird. Like I liked like lighting in movies. So I was really into Dario Argento Italian horror films just because they had like blue and red lighting and I liked how they combined into like violet. And I was like, that looks cool. I want to stare at that for like 2 hours. Like just weird little things like that. And now I see like people online incorporating the same lighting techniques and like creating like cool retro backgrounds. I'm like, that came from Argento. That's okay. You know what I mean? But yeah, my top three would probably be Truman Show, number 1, The Truman Show. These are like interchangeable and they switch from here at this point. And then it would basically be like either Dead Poets Society, Drive, Into the Wild, or Donnie Darko. Those would probably be my top. Yeah, that was the one with Emil Hirsch where he like cuts up his social security card and then runs off on a it was like based on a true story, and then it's kind of anticlimactic. I don't want to give it away what happens at the end, but it didn't. Yeah. But I like the music though. I liked. I mean, even though Eddie Vedder's, you know, what he is politically, I thought that was a sick soundtrack that he made to the movie. I thought that was really cool, and it just kind of fit the vibe. And then it had a cameo with Vince Vaughn. I really like Vince Vaughn. I think Vince Vaughn's awesome. I like Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn. You know,
it said he's white excellence.
Yes, he is. No, there's a vibe. There's a vibe. There's like a separation between Vince Vaughn, Mel Gibson, and like all the other Hollywood elite. Like when they go to like premieres, it's like it's them, and then like everybody else kind of like scowling at them, but they're just having a great time.
Yeah, I love that.
That's great. That's what it feels like.
Well, they've retained their masculinity, it seems.
Yes. Yeah. No. Totally. Which has got to be like, man, you've got to be strong to do that in that kind of environment, you know. But Vince Vaughn's always had his buddy like Jon Favreau. They've always kind of stuck together and done stuff together since like Swingers, Made Men. They had this HBO show Dinner for Five, which is awesome. But looking back, it's just like not as awesome because I'm not as into Hollywood anymore. But I don't know.
Well, you said Donnie Darko, right?
Yeah, Donnie Darko. I love Donnie Darko. Heck yeah. That one's cool. The director's cut on that is really worth watching for people that are like, it doesn't make sense. If you watch the director's cut, it fills in a couple gaps. But there's a lot of it fills in a ton of like necessary gaps in like the storyline and with the time travel and what's all going on with that. And it's deep, man. The Donnie Darko is like its own thing. It's like it's got like its own lore, you know.
Yeah,
which I kind of dig.
I watched that movie quite a bit, actually. I had a period where I watched that movie quite a bit.
Dude, yeah, I was obsessed with Donnie Darko for a bit. Still kind of am. I just haven't watched it in a while.
Well, that's kind of one of those movies like I don't know if you ever watched anime. I used to watch anime in the 90s.
Yeah,
Like
no, I
Ghost in the
still watch
Shell.
anime. I watch Akira and freaking I don't know.
Well, yeah, I'll still watch old anime, but new anime is just like weird. It's like I don't know, porn for furries. But
exactly.
like,
yeah, I can't really get into it. I'm talking about old school anime, like the cool stuff.
Yeah, but Ghost in the Shell was like that for
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Like, I never understood that movie, but I could not stop watching it.
I don't know what the heck's going on. I don't know what's going on in there. There's like there's something going on, but I have it on VHS and I've watched it multiple times, and I still don't know what the heck's happening.
But it's so good.
It is.
Yeah.
It's super
It's
good.
just so nice to watch. Great music, great visuals, just an incredible atmosphere. And it's like, I don't know, that'll keep me going. That'll keep me going. I don't really need to know what's going on.
Yeah, no, I'll just throw on like one of those old VHSs where it has like the blocky like PlayStation 1 kind of graphics, and it's just like old crappy blocky CGI, and it's like back then that was like state of the art, and there's just like music playing over it. I could watch those for like a long time.
You have those?
Yeah, I have those. Oh yeah, I have those, definitely. They're in storage right now. I gotta go down to San Diego and get my tapes out, man. I need my tapes out of storage. I'm going crazy. I'm like, where's this at? I don't have anything.
Yeah, you gotta get them. I want to see that, man.
Oh man, it's crazy. It's madness. It's 10,000 tapes. So it's going to be like a mission. I'm going to go down to San Diego. I'm going to need my Orthodox homies to help me because I literally threw my back out last time. Like I'm getting too old for lifting all these tapes. I do it mostly by myself just because I feel bad having like people lift tapes because I was obsessed with VHS tapes. I'm like, I don't want you to like kill yourself because I had an obsession.
Yeah.
Like an abnormal obsession with VHS tapes. But I'm going to need help. Realistically, to get the stuff up here.
If I start making money, I'm planning on visiting the United States, and then I'm gonna, visit family, visit friends, and I would love to help you, man. That would be a great experience.
Yeah, we would love to have you out here, man.
I gotta get that guap first.
Gotta get that guap, man. Well, you're moving in a guapy direction. So, who knows what the future can bring, man. You never know.
You're moving in guapy directions.
You're moving in a guapy. All right, dude. So I wanted to go over what conspiracies do we believe and don't believe. I thought that would be an interesting. I thought that would be an interesting topic.
Yeah.
So let's start with I guess 9/11 was an inside job. Was 9/11 an inside job? Do you think it was an inside job?
I mean, it was. Can we just be real? Like you'll like.
Yeah, no, we could be real here. We don't have to act like we're like we're retarded.
Yeah, it was an inside job. It was Israel.
Yeah, exactly.
It was freaking Israel.
Yeah. No, the dancing, you Google dancing Israelis and you'll figure that one out pretty quick. That's a simple one.
Well, not just the dancing Israelis.
There's a lot more to it.
There's a lot to it. Certain Israeli citizens before it happens said, "Don't go today. Something big's going to happen." Yep. The art installation that happened a couple days before, where a bunch of Israeli art students did some sort of art installation. The fact that Larry Fink, is it Larry Fink? I think.
Yep, I think it is.
Larry Fink. He owns BlackRock. Something. I don't know. He like got the biggest ever insurance policy. Like it was so big they had to like do like they had to fly in a bunch of different banks or something to get this insurance. Like these people are so guileless. Like they don't even care if you know. Like the fact that we don't know is simply
it was shoved in everyone's face.
Yeah, they'll shove it in your face and know you won't believe them because they say it's not true. That's literally the definition of chutzpah, is lying to your face and knowing that the person you're talking to knows you're lying, but lying anyway.
Right. Yeah, no, there was a ton. You could keep going and going. There was more stuff that happened. I mean, it was obviously a demolition. You got Building 7. You got all kinds of like sketchy stuff going on. News reporters and people seeing things before it happened, and like it was obviously an inside job, and we know who it was. It was Israel, 100%. And it's like it's kind of interesting what's going on now with like the whole Trump stuff and like Iran, and it's like the similarities between the Iraq thing, and it's just like, but it's even more obvious now. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy that people still fall for it. to me.
It's crazy that we're continually bowing to these people who are literally our worst enemies, and we're calling them an ally and killing people that they want us to kill. It's like we have never had a more obvious enemy.
Talk about
Israel.
like the ultimate frenemy. You know what I mean? Like it's not our friend. I don't even know if it's a frenemy. I mean, like, but there's this game that's being
like, it's like your worst foe. They're our worst enemy. Period. Being
presented as a friend, as an ally, which is just like, I don't know, man. I don't know how long this can go on like this for. So it's good. We're in interesting times.
It's not going on.
I haven't been paying attention. I'm totally out of the loop, and I keep seeing things like accidentally seeing like headlines. I'm like, I don't want to see this. Go away. I'm like, you know, and it just pops in from somewhere, or somebody else. Hey, did you hear it? I'm like, no, stop, shush. Like,
same here.
Like silence.
I keep getting like texts from people that are like updating me. I have been off Twitter for 2 weeks, but it's like my friends have become Twitter. They're like, hey,
right?
Trump just did this. Israel just did this. People that I don't even know are texting me.
It's like you tap out of you get out of the algorithm, and the algorithm is like chasing you down the street through people. It's like the algorithm is like, the
algorithm has become sentient and it's in your home.
Dude, seriously, that's wild. That's kind of a cool concept though. But yeah, no, that's happening. It's not even a concept. That's real life, dude. That's like happening right now. That's wild. Okay, what about the Mandela effect, where it's like supposedly they're like implanting memories that are false or changing the past, or I don't even know how the heck that would happen, but like what do you think about the Mandela effect? I think one of them was like, and here's an example of the Mandela effect for anybody out there. I think it was like they used to be Bernstein Bears, but now they're the Bernstein Bears. They used to be Bernstein or Stein, and now they're Stain, or that might be vice versa.
Yeah, that's okay. I remember the Bernstein Bears being different, but I don't like. Here's the thing with the Mandela effect. It's essentially people being like, oh, it's different timelines and stuff like that. Like people like to get into like weird ideas of reality, and it kind of informs. They're like, oh, it's a glitch in the
Matrix or something.
Yeah, like in the Matrix, and this is a simulation, and it kind of feeds into that madness. I will say that it in 1984, George Orwell was like kind of describing this future where headlines are constantly updated, and then the old versions are immediately destroyed, and so whatever is written today is what's always been true, and everybody immediately follows suit. And I think we're doing stuff like that now, like the way they talked about is like, we are at war with Eurasia. We have always been at war with Eurasia, when like the week earlier we were at war with Europe. It was like this sort of like weird thing that it was basically you just watch everybody go along, which goes along with the 9/11 stuff we were talking about. You just kind of, it doesn't matter what's obvious to the eyes. What matters is what an authoritative figure tells you.
Right.
And so you could, in effect, change the past. You could, I don't know like how much credence I give to the Mandela effect, but I do think that we've watched people. I mean, I've watched Destiny say like talking points about, can I say what vaccine?
I don't care. No? Yeah, say anything here. Any words here. I don't really. Right. Yeah, I just.
You watched him like rattle off talking points that weren't true a month earlier. Like you would watch these pundits be like, "Oh, if you take the vaccine, you won't get COVID," and then a month later they'd be like, "We never said that if you took the vaccine, you wouldn't get COVID," and then a month, and
right, like things like that. It's more like that.
Like, yep, that's how it is. That's what they said, and it didn't matter what you saw. It didn't matter what you remembered. It was like, it was like you were being trained not to think.
See, I think the Mandela effect actually plays into that, where they're playing with your memory and making you second guess your own memories. They're playing with words, and they're making you, they're gaslighting. They're making you second guess your own memories, and they're changing, like doing like little small changes and things, and then testing you and be like, oh, it was this way, or it was that way, or maybe not even changing anything and just implanting a thought of like, oh, it used to be like this. But I remember like the Bernstein Bears thing. There's books that exist with both spellings. I mean, I can show you VHS because I belong to VHS groups. So I have people that go to thrifts and go down these like rabbit holes. And it's like, I've seen a Bernstein and a Bernstein Bears tape and book like right next to each other. So there's both spellings have been used. Yeah, really, 100%. And then it's also hard to know what's like AI and digitally doctored, you know, because that, I mean, I don't think that picture was doctored, to be honest, because it came from someone who I trust, who I know. But yeah, so, but that also comes into play too.
It puts you in like I don't know what the word would be, but it makes you like an infant. It puts you in this state of helplessness where you're just able to be pushed along. I had the same thing happen when I tried to use Voice Meter, where it's like when things are constantly changing, nothing's working out, and nothing makes sense the way you think it should. AI is telling you how to fix it, it doesn't work, it just makes more problems, and it's like another version of this sort of thing where if you're constantly being given different information, and there's no way of discerning what's true from what's false, what eventually I think will happen to you is your mind will revert to a sort of infancy state where you're just led along because it's too overwhelming. You can't parse it out. It's impossible.
Right. It kind of reminds me of that. It was like, I don't know if you'd call it a poem, but that segment you had yesterday on your show, it was like slam poetry almost. And you were talking about, I think at one point, I don't know if it was in that or a different segment, but you were talking about how like truth. And if you're speaking truth and searching for truth, it should ultimately lead you to Christ. And if it leads you somewhere else, then like, I can't remember what you did with it, but it really like that kind of like.
You might as well not know the truth if it doesn't.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. No, it kind of reminds me of that, like the whole being in the information age and like being overwhelmed with all this information, but like none of it's really leading to Christ. Like these people are just kind of being bombarded from all these different directions and kind of confused and overwhelmed, and they don't, you know what I mean? It's adding more chaos, and it's not bringing you to truth and harmony in a focused, clear direction, like the way, the truth, and the life, you know, the path.
Yeah. And that's kind of, you know, that's a beautiful
and to do
thing
that and to get there you have to like block it out. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but like to do it you have to like block it out to like those boundaries, you know. I don't know, I do.
Yeah, I talk about it all the time. I've talked about it since the beginning of my show that you have to be really careful what you let in, because they're constantly trying to find ways to throw you off your square. So you constantly like, but the thing about being Orthodox is people get so caught up in complexities and they don't understand the simplicity. They don't understand how simple the truth is and how simple love is. And they weigh everything down with these, these mental structures that essentially force them into a state of throwing up their hands and being like, never mind, it's impossible. It's like, no, it's not impossible. It's actually very easy. And when you're Orthodox, you stop. I'm not participating in any of it, man. I'm not. I don't want to. I don't need to. I know it's in God's hands, and I know what my job is. My job is to love. My job is to become a better person. My job is to become closer to Christ. And everything else is under his purview. Everything else is under his dominion. And if he allows something bad to happen to me, then it's for my salvation. And so all of the complexities are meaningless. You don't have to worry. You just have to trust God. That's it.
Right.
People would be so free if they understood that.
Yeah, it reminds me of like a lot of what you're saying reminds me of Paisios, where he just talks about like just simple faith and just like how man's intellectualism and like need to reason out everything can actually block God's miracles. Can block miracles, because it's like it's basically you're showing your lack of faith through trying to explain everything, through trying to reason and intellectualize everything, you know. And it's actually really simple, and it's usually just missed. It's usually like right under our nose. I was talking about that recently in a video, that it's like a lot of times the truth is so simple it gets overlooked because we're over here looking for something that's so grand and like, you know, that's so dressed up and fancy looking, and the truth's just like simple and plain and right there the whole time.
It's like a progressive liberal mindset which has infected every aspect of our lives, this sort of idea that we're working towards something and that we're going to do it. And so and you combine that with this sort of revolution mentality, this American revolution mentality where you're constantly looking for things to be revolutionized. You're constantly looking for novelty, and you want something to be constantly interesting, and every day it has to be updated. And so you end up just on this constant quest, not because you want the truth, but because you enjoy novelty.
Right. And then you stop learning how to appreciate the little things. Like right in front of you, life becomes kind of tainted because you become spoiled with all these, like your nerves have just been kind of like spoiled, and you don't see the beauty right in front of you anymore, you know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, there's something to that. Okay, moving on to the another conspiracy that's real popular, flat Earth. Flat Earth. What shape is the Earth? I don't know what shape the Earth is. I don't even know. I think it's round. May have hidden land. I don't know, man. Like that whole thing kind of, there was aspects of it that threw me off. There's aspects that I believe are a psyop for sure. I don't even know what to make of the whole flat Earth thing, but I think it got kind of goofy, and it definitely is a distraction at a certain point when it just becomes all about like obsessing about the shape of the Earth. And like I've learned since coming to Orthodoxy, the way I look at it, like I'm okay with leaving things up to mystery that I don't know how to like verify for myself. I'm like, you know what? I don't freaking need to know everything. Like I'm okay with like not knowing certain things and just being like, hey, I don't know. Like I'm not a scientist. I didn't like been in a rocket ship, and I haven't like, you know, and I don't know if they have either or gone as far, or I don't even know. And it's okay.
Yeah, dude. That's so good. That's so good. And I hate that people struggle with this and they see it as ignorance and stupidity. And it's like, I think like I wish people could shake free of their intellectualism, because it's weighing them down, the inability to embrace mystery. The inability to embrace mystery, to have an answer to every question, a satisfactory answer to every question. And it's like, I will not follow Christ until I have a satisfactory answer to every single one of my inquiries. And it must be good enough to meet my standard. And
that was you
like,
talking to Distinction yesterday.
well,
yeah. But you know what? But you know what? I think he was sincere. I don't know. I could be wrong too. Maybe I'm dumb too. Maybe I'm gullible too. I have been throughout my life. But I think he was being sincere. He sounded kind of sincere
too. That's a really cool mug. Can I see that?
Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah.
Wow, bro, that's really good. Can I see a picture? Wow, that's great, man.
Yeah. No, I like
that?
Sonic. It's my. Old? I think I got it from Walmart. I think it's like a new production, but it kind of got like retro vibes to it. You know, I got it for my son. I'm just using it to drink some coffee.
It's still cool though. But yeah, no, people have no understanding of mystery. They have no ability to embrace mystery. It's just this sort of scholasticism that's taken hold of our Western mind, and it just does not allow for us to appreciate that things can be beyond us. It's really prideful, actually, and it's making a god of yourself, thinking that you could possibly comprehend all things. Shut up, dummy. You're a human. You are a creature. You're not the creator. Why can't you accept that? But also, like, you know, when it comes to I don't know, when it comes to flat Earth.
Yeah, be honest. Be honest. We want honesty.
The thing that, you know, when you realize that evolution was a lie, when you realize that you've been taught this gigantic lie that basically informs all the modern mentality, has convinced everyone that they're animals, that has convinced everyone that they're part of this evolutionary process and they're reaching towards the stars, and Elon Musk is going to make them even better than a human by implanting them with, you know, demon sigils and stuff. And like, I don't know, it's just like
Neuralink and all that.
Yeah, when you realize how much BS has been taught to you your whole life, I could understand throwing the sphere of the earth under the bus. But there's an Old Testament passage that says he hangeth, I'm gonna butcher this, he hangeth the circle of the earth upon nothing. But it was something like circle or sphere or there was
Right.
another word.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like, okay, people will be like, yeah, but it could be a flat circle.
Right.
I don't
If
know.
it's not
Like,
sphere or something, yeah, I don't know.
I think it's probably a
I think
globe.
it's probably round. Like if I was betting my life on it, if I had to bet my life, I would bet round with hidden land. That's just me. That's just me. I would be like, but
Round with
maybe
hidden
it's
land.
like, but like the way I describe it, I tend to describe it more as like a realm. Because I really don't know the dang shape and I don't know like the parameters and how this works and like how it all, I really don't. And I don't trust like the people that came up with a lot of the stuff like Copernicus and Galileo and like, I mean, I don't know how much I trust all their like the heliocentric theories versus the geocentric theory. You know what
I'm
I
kind
mean?
of
And
geocentrism.
yeah, I like
I'll give you that.
geocentrism. That's something I'm more on board with than like being like, I know the shape of the earth and bam, being all definitive about it. Like that's scary to me because I really don't know. That's a lie. You know, and
Well,
I don't know the geocentric,
geocentrism
heliocentric either, but it makes more sense to me, the geocentrism.
has some weight to it because the only thing that would make something heliocentric in a vacuum of infinite space, you choose the referent.
Right.
So you could just be arbitrarily choosing the sun as the referent when in
Right.
fact there could be multiple there could be what are they called, multiple what are they called, cycles? What are the cycles called?
I'm dumb. I'm pretty dumb.
Orbits. There could be I
Yeah.
don't know why I lost the word. There could be
Yeah.
multiple orbits, and we could be the referent.
Right.
Earth would be the referent, and honestly, no one can say otherwise because
Right.
they're choosing reference arbitrarily. They can't map out the entire universe. So there really is no way to prove that geocentrism isn't true, actually.
Right. And here's the thing, dude. I found a bunch of quotes of like saints making statements that are geocentric based, like Saint Athanasius, I believe Saint Augustine, if I'm not mistaken. I have a whole video on it. Like I did a video. There was like over 20 of them. They're super like prominent saints. And I even have there's a whole section in the Hexameron, which is a bunch of homilies by Saint Basil the Great, and there's a whole section on the firmament. Which I think I think there is a firmament. I think there's a physical firmament of some sort. I don't know exactly how it operates, and I don't know like totally like all the aspects of how it like does what it does. But I do believe, like when we say there's a firmament separating the waters above from the waters below, I believe there's something to that. I believe that's a reality.
I did a episode on that a long time. I'd say a couple months ago, maybe like 6 months ago, where I kind of drew out an idea of what that would look like. And this idea that what we do is we live within the space between two infinite bodies of water. And it's a really interesting idea. You know, it's and you can see it like this endless horizon. And we exist in this place made for us to exist in, you know? And I like that. I actually like that idea. I don't know which one I like more, and I haven't really like I haven't planted my flag on any of this because I don't trust the scientists, and you know, I don't. Yeah, I guess the rest of the stuff isn't as obvious, you know, because there is that passage that says he hangs the circle of the earth upon nothing. You know, there's certain, like, I don't know. I don't actually know, you know.
Exactly. I don't know either. Yeah, no, and that gets me thinking too. I've seen that verse too, and I was like, huh, you know, what do you make of that in reference to all these other things that, you know, it's just, I definitely understand why people are doubting everything they've been taught. Because almost everything they've been taught is like a lie, and now they're doubting everything. It's like a duh. Of course they're going to question everything. Like, I think it's kind of healthy to come to a point where you ask yourself, wait, why do I believe what I believe? And I think that's a big part of like the whole movement, is just like seeing people. I do think that's a healthy aspect of being like, wait, why do I believe what I believe? Am I just accepting things because it's coming from a certain authority and I put faith in this person? Or do I actually know how to verify this for myself? Is this self-verifiable, or am I putting my faith in someone else to verify it for me?
Well, yeah, people are like the idea that the authority figures that you've put your trust in this country and, you know, in the West and stuff like that are actually not your friends and are using you and are often have extremely nefarious agendas and are lying to you is more than most people are willing to consider because it's all they know, you know. It would
You put so
require
many
too much of
years.
them.
You put so many years into like believing, living a certain way in your whole, and then you have to admit your whole life's been a lie or something, you know, especially if you're like involved in something academic and that's involved in who you are personally. Like you pride yourself on your academia. I think that's a big part of who a lot of people are. And then you come to this point where you may come upon some information where everything, it makes you question everything you've ever learned and who you are and what you're teaching. And it's like, to accept that, you'd have to accept that maybe you wasted 10 years of your life on a lie. That's hard.
Yeah, and it's also
right?
like you know, these structures become very they become the only world you know, you know, and it's that's a very scary thing if you find out that the world that you as you know it isn't what it is, and it puts a lot of it can throw people into despair, into maybe even psychosis. Like I remember when I first experienced an earthquake. When I first moved here, I was here during the 2018 earthquake, which was like a 7.2, 7.3. It was pretty big.
That was in Alaska?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I never experienced an earthquake before, so I didn't understand what was happening. It was the ground beneath my feet, bro. Like it was like the world that I've always known was suddenly shaking, and my mind was racing trying to understand what was happening. It was like I was like I was in fight or flight mode, you know, like I didn't know what was happening. And it's kind of like that, like when all of a sudden the ground beneath your feet is when you realize that maybe it isn't as solid as you thought it was, you have to go into fight or flight mode, either run and realize that the structures that have been put in place that you've believed in your whole life are a lie and run from them, or fight your mind and fight anyone who tells you they're not real, so that you can keep your feeling of being safe, no matter how fragile it is.
Right. Man, that's a good analogy about like the earthquake and the shaky foundation, and like, man, that's cool. That actually works well. What about the moon landing? That ties into the flat earth thing. Do you believe right? Dude, we did not go to the freaking moon. We've never been to the moon.
Never did it. It's a lie.
What about Katy? Did Katy Perry go to space?
No, I didn't. Come on, bro. You know I didn't pay any attention. I gave that.
This is where we're at right now, dude. This is where we're at in reality. Like there's people out here that believe this stuff, man. Like seriously.
Yeah, I think Katy Perry went to some parties. I think Katy Perry might have been a little MK Ultra'd. I'll give you that stuff. But yeah, no, I'm not. Dude, I'm so checked out. No, I have nothing to do with that. No opinion. No comment.
Okay. Well, wait. So you grew up on the East Coast, if I'm not mistaken. You spent some time in Brooklyn?
Yeah, okay. I want to clear this up because I don't want like people to think I'm like you know, fake repping or set tripping out here. Okay. All right. I was born in Jersey. All right. I was born in New Jersey. When I was young, when I was young, I moved to the Poconos, and I lived in this little town called Tannersville.
Okay.
And I was raised in Tannersville. And then but I was always back and forth to Jersey because that's where all my family lived.
Right.
And then I ended up in Philly. I lived in Philly for years, and then I lived in Austin for a couple of years. Then I moved back to Jersey, and then I lived in New York for like, I want to say 8 years. on and off between Jersey and Brooklyn. I lived in Flatbush, I lived in Bed-Stuy, and I lived in Bushwick. I also lived in Staten Island for a little while. But that's just, so I rep Jersey. That's where my family's from. And I rep Jersey because my family built New Jersey. And so that's what I rep. I rep Jersey. My almost all the houses on my street were built by my great grandfather.
Nice.
And that was an Italian neighborhood. It was that my family grew up in. We had a house in there for multiple generations in North Bergen, New Jersey. Now it's gone because whatever. But that's what I rep Jersey. I rep Jersey, and I rep the Sicilian and the Irish over there.
Nice. That's what's up. So, out of all those places, what was the most hood place you stayed at? Like, do you have any hood stories from like Brooklyn or anything over there?
Lived in is hoods. All I've ever lived in is hoods. Besides North Bergen, and then North Bergen kind of turned it. North Bergen was a hood sometimes, and sometimes it was paradise on earth, and often it was like a mix of both.
I've been in places like that.
Yeah, I'd say I lived in Germantown for a hot minute, and people didn't like going there. Like I would have people, like my white friends wouldn't visit me. They wouldn't come. It was crazy. It was crazy out there. Germantown was pretty crazy. I'd say Flatbush. I didn't really like one time in Flatbush, I got pulled over simply because of the building I lived in, and the cops patted me down. They're like, "Yo, name names." And I was like, name names. They're like, you live in the biggest crack house in New York. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And I came back limping, but I was limping because, did
they think it was like a gangster walk or something? They thought you were
I was working all day at the car wash. I used to work at the car wash on, hold up, what the heck is it called? Maria, what's the big street next to Flatbush called? I lived on 15th and Beverly, I think. And but there was this street down, it's like the main street. What's the Coney Island Ave? I worked at a car wash on Coney Island Ave, and one day I just was like beat to crap working all day because I had to like do all sorts of stuff. And so I was walking back from that, and all these niggas was out front the building, like holding shop, and I let them know that the cops were watching the place.
Yeah,
I was like, yo, I was going into the place, and I was because the night before the cops stopped me, and I'm like limping because I had such a hard day at work, and I was like, yo, the block is hot. I just want y'all to know the block is hot. And they're like, yo, the cops beat him up, bro. And I just let them believe that. I didn't really I wanted to go home. I was sleepy. And I was like, hey, believe what you want, man.
Right. Probably earned some street cred there a little bit,
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, I got a hood story. That San Diego was kind of like that, like simultaneously like paradise, and also you could go down like one street and it would just be like super hood. And it was usually a street, like one of the worst streets there was a street that had a mosque on it. It was called Westview, and it was just this cul-de-sac, and it was super hood. But I ended up hanging out with this crew, this gang I would hang out with called Murder Crew. And I had a buddy.
Like some Memphis crap.
Yeah. No, they weren't very prominent, and I'm pretty sure they died out by now. But it was like kind of like a smaller multicultural hood thing. I don't know. It was like
We're a multicultural gang. We accept everybody in our crime syndicate.
There was white people, there was black, there was Mexican, and I think there was like a Puerto Rican
under the umbrella of crime.
Exactly. So those were like my best friends at the time. It was like my life was just it was a mess.
What was your name back then? What was your
I
nickname?
didn't have a nickname because I wasn't officially in the gang. I never got jumped in. But that's kind of like that's another story. I got jumped out before I got jumped in because they're like, you want to be down? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah,
And
I
they
had
just
that
kind of
with
like,
the blood. There was a sect of the Bloods in Philly, and I was offered to be a Blood at one point, and they were like, "Yo, you're a lion. You need to understand that and take your mantle and become one of us. This is your." And they're like offering that I become a Blood, and I was like, "This is uncomfortable." I don't remember what I said. I know I'm not a Blood. I'm not, and I
are you
know
sure
that I
you're not a
didn't
blood,
become
bro?
a Blood. I don't remember what happened, but I was just like, "Uh-oh, I didn't expect this."
Yeah, no,
How
that
how did I get in a situation where somebody's offering that I become a Blood? What have I done?
yeah, that's wild. But there is white bloods out there. There's apparently white bloods and white
Yeah, there's
crips
a lot
and
of white blood cells
yep,
throughout the U.S.
that's right. That's right. But yeah, no, so I was hanging out at my buddy's house. This is after like we get off our we're going to year-round school. It's like the school for all the bad kids when you get kicked out of the normal schools. And
Me too, man. I did those too.
yeah, I went to like I got kicked out of those too. I got kicked out of a bunch of them. I was a mess, man. In like 10th grade, I got kicked out of every school in San Diego pretty much. It was crazy. I just didn't listen.
Bud.
I didn't listen and I
Look at
sold
us.
weed and I smoked weed and I didn't care who knew and I just didn't no respect for authority. So it wasn't working. No matter where I went, they'd be like, okay, it's time for your speech. I'm like, I don't do speeches. Like, it was stupid. And then a bunch of other people would try to copy me and be like, I don't do speeches. They'd be like, shut up, Daryl, get up there and give your speech. But
Oh, that's funny.
it's pretty funny. So I'm at my buddy's house. And we're like smoking weed or something. And our other buddy Neil comes over and he's like, "Yo, I found those fools that jumped me the other week." I was like, "I didn't even know Neil got jumped. What the heck? I'm out of the loop, dude." And I'm using fake names because I don't want to like incriminate anybody. So we hop
Right.
in the car. There's like a couple other dudes in the car. It's like 5 of us. And we go to the spot where I guess he saw one of the dudes that had jumped him a couple weeks before. We pull up on this dude. It's raining. It's like raining super bad. We hop out of the car. Homeboy pops the trunk. And I'm just like, oh, gun. And I run back in the car. I'm like, dude, he's popping the trunk on us. He's probably got a gun in there. I'm like, I'm not ready to die for you idiots. I'm out of here, dude. I like run back into the car. Everybody gets back in the car. We reverse and we're about to take off. And this dude's driving like his Asian girlfriend's super nice car. And it's like, and we go to take off super quick, but it's raining and the wheels are just spinning in the rain. Shh. And dude comes up. He didn't have a gun. He had a bat. And he just starts busting out the windows. Bam! And I'm screaming. I'm like, ah! I'm screaming like for bloody murder like a little girl, dude. I think we're getting shot. I didn't even know I thought it was a gun the whole time. I think we're getting shot through the windows, dude. I'm like, bro, I'm going to die. I'm going to die for this gay-ass gang called Murder Crew, this multicultural gang with like 18 fools in it. Like, this is like the end of my life, bro. And I'm just screaming and we take off and they're like, bro, why were you screaming like that? I was like, bro, we were getting shot. And they were like, dude, no, it was just a bat, bro. I was terrified, dude. I was screaming like a little girl, straight up, dude. I was so out of my element, dude. It was just like, it was a beautiful moment for me as an up and coming white person, because I was like, this is not where I'm supposed to be. I was like, this is not the life that I want for myself, and I'm not where I'm supposed to be right now. So that was a good wake up call. That was one of my hood stories.
It's weird how many like effed up situations you end up in just by not being like a status quo human being. Like you just kind of end up in the weirdest situations with the strangest people in all these friendships that you're like, what am I doing with this person? Why is this person in my life? And it's like I've had so many friendships with straight up murderers and psychopaths. And
like, dude,
there's no reason for us to be friends, but it's like it's just because like I'm not normal. So I keep ending up with like I keep ended up in the same realm as like the criminals, but I wasn't a criminal, but I just kept ending up in the same places as them.
Yeah. No, I relate to that. I still find myself relating to some of the, people that are not seen very highly by society. You know what I mean? I still find myself like being, I don't know, maybe a bridge to something. I almost feel like a responsibility because I still have a piece of that in myself almost, like I know where I came from. I came from some weird places to get to where I'm at right now. Like I've been to some, I'm in the Womkish, that stupid gang stuff I was into. Like I'm getting kicked out of like every school in San Diego. I don't know, man. I was into some dumb stuff. It took a lot of like missteps.
Look at us, man. Look at what we've done with ourselves.
Right?
Check us out. We're out here. We were the weirdos. We were the bad kids, the outcasts, and we're guess what? We're the ones that found God. So maybe maybe we weren't so wrong. Maybe we weren't so bad because y'all out here doing great in the fake world that's never accepted us. And guess what? It never accepted us because it's a lie. And we found the truth, dummy.
That's right.
Check us
out. That plastic gun adds a lot of emphasis, dude. I need one of those, dude. I need to get my super soaker up in here, dude.
What do you mean plastic? This is real.
Oh, snap. Dude.
No, it could
I thought I was gonna get shot again. I was having flashbacks to that hood story for a second, but I was about to scream. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. It's about
PTSD.
as real as the gun that got you last time.
Right. Dude, I was dying, bro. I was dying in that moment. I was dead, bro. I was ready. I was like, you know what? It's over.
This
is
scary,
the culmination.
It's still scary, even that it wasn't a gun.
Yeah. No, it was still scary. Yeah, no, just like I literally thought we were getting shot at the whole time though. And then after they had to tell me, like, no, it was a bat, bro. I was like, I wouldn't even look. I was like, no. I didn't want to look. I was just covering my eyes because I thought we were gonna die. But I also was Bozu Zoku. Was that your most recent album? Was that the most recent one you dropped? You've dropped so many albums. I can barely keep track because you've been putting out a lot. I think it's called Bozo Zoku.
Boso Zoku, yo, BOSOZOKU.
Yeah, I can barely say it, but it's definitely my favorite album of yours for sure. Just like the whole, like the tracks on there. Is that the one with the do better, do better? Yeah. That track, yeah, that one's good. The cover art, the moving art you did, and how you're talking about incorporating that in the future if you make that guap or whatever,
Yeah. I like the idea of like, it was basically the idea was like CDs, because I grew up in the era of CDs, of going to the record store and buying CDs and like leafing through them. And I just thought, now we live in this digital era, but like it's like an alternative timeline in my mind, where you pick up the CD and as you play the album, the cover art moves. The cover art is like its own music video for every song. And so that was the concept behind it. That's why I kept it as a square. Was like, I just thought that'd be so cool. And so like, I don't know if it's possible, but I thought, the technology is getting cheaper. The technology is getting cheaper. We could probably get to a point where I could have like a moving album cover.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be like doable for like each track. I mean, it could be if you put enough into it, probably. But I could definitely see like a moving album cover of some sort, that not even like where you move it like back in the day with the lenticular, like but I'm talking about like a digital like moving art, kind of like cover. Yeah, that'd be sick. Like how you did it online.
Yeah, my plan is like if I ever get to that point, I want to make like a LCD album cover, sell the album as a CD. And then somehow make it so that it syncs up. I don't know how you would make it sync up, but
you could probably do that somehow.
Yeah, but yeah, then you could look at the album cover and it's being a movie.
That would be sick. That would be cool. Crazy, man. If you released an album like that, that could be like, that could be like something collectible because it's never been done before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the idea. I hope nobody... I hope the Weeknd doesn't watch this and steal that.
Steal the ideas.
Back in Austin, that would happen all the time. Like all us underground musicians in Austin, like record execs would come to Austin, watch our shows and stuff, and then quietly leave and steal our ideas, and then have like the artists at the time do what we were doing.
I feel like, yeah, I've said things out loud and had people like blatantly do them and just run off with them. I feel like I have this weird thing in my head where I feel like people are stealing ideas from me that I haven't even said. I'll be like, how'd you steal that out of my brain? I was going to do that. And then if somebody else will do it, and I'll be like, dang it. I mean,
but you would see this like clear as day. Like this was like really like, there was this artist in Austin called How I Quit Crack. Brilliant, brilliant. She was this lady, and she was a Christian of sorts, and she would do this really beautiful noise music. I absolutely loved her. Like,
that sounds
I thought
sick.
she was so brilliant.
I'm into
that. And she would cover herself in day glow paint and put like crosses on her and stuff. And
interesting.
And then like light up while she sat on the ground doing these really interesting like soundscapes. And
whoa,
I don't know who was that girl who was popular like in the 2000s. Kesha literally stole 100% of what she was doing and then did it. And like there was literally no way it wasn't stolen. And they would do stuff like that all the time. They would like find us underground artists and just like literally you would see what you were doing on the screen later on.
That's wild, man. But people do that. No, they really do that. They go into like underground little scenes that are kind of popping and have their own thing, but they don't have the exposure to really be known and get out there, and they'll take that and they'll be like, no one will know. No one knows these people. And then they just put it out there to the world, and that's how
But I wonder if I do the same thing, like I just
right, like really... unconsciously. I think about that too.
I don't want, because when I'm creating, I don't really think about whether it's somebody else's idea or anything like that. If I thought like that, it would just interrupt the process. And I do think there's like a constant evolution in art where you're always kind of, it's not like it's all created in a vacuum. So I do wonder, like sometimes people will say, oh, this sounds like this, or oh, this looks like this. And it's like, well, that wasn't intentional, but I am part of the world, stuff gets in whether I recognize it or not. Also, I have no accountability for my actions because I have no idea what's going on at any given moment. So it's not my fault if I do it.
No, I hear you, brother. I hear you. I don't know if we asked this before, or no. Actually, we were just recently in Alaska. They had those huge services with St. Olga. Were you able to, you were able to attend one recently?
I didn't go to the one in Kwethluk because I just couldn't. But I went to the ones at St. Innocent's Cathedral in Anchorage. There was 9 bishops. Metropolitan Tikhon was there. It was very big. It was very big. Me, I like my church to be quiet, but and small, and I like my simple services. I like the simplicity of Orthodoxy, but and we've occasionally had events like that where I've come down and I've gone to St. Innocent's and gone to the cathedral and been part of that, and it's very like it's not the same, it's a different sort of experience. It's much grander, and you kind of are overwhelmed by the scope of it all, to be honest. Like, or at least I am. I'm always very overwhelmed by the scope of it all, where it's just like so much is happening, and you're just kind of like, I don't know. It's really amazing, actually. It's really incredible to behold. But yeah, we venerated her relics, and
nice.
A homily was given by Metropolitan Tikhon, which was pretty incredible. And we had Bishop Garrison there, who I always really liked him. I think he's from San Francisco, right, Maria? Texas, never mind, my bad. Anyway, I've always liked him. There's something in his face that's always like, I've always liked him. I saw him once before, and he just stuck with me. But yeah, Bishop Alexei, who is the Bishop of Sitka in Alaska, has like really like forged ahead and done some big things over here to help the priesthood up here, help the diocese, and bring attention to the fact that that Alaska is the Jerusalem of America. It really is. This is where the first saint of America came, Saint Herman. This is
Right.
Saint Tikhon, Saint Juvenali, Saint Olga, Saint Peter the Aleut, Saint Jack, Saint how do I say it, Maria? Jacob. We have all these saints, and they have so much. There's an Orthodoxy start in America. Orthodoxy started here, you know, and it started as it was adopted. It was adopted in love, you know.
Exactly. It wasn't forced upon the people. Yep.
Yeah, and it's just this is a holy place. This is a holy place. I do think that as Alaska is blessed, America will be blessed, and I think I'm very proud to live here. I'm very happy and blessed to live here.
Glory to God, man. I've always wanted to visit Alaska just because it looks like such a unique landscape and the way it operates out there with like constant sun and no sun, and just having to prepare for winter, and just like everything that comes along with that, and the Orthodox history as well. It just something that kind of calls out to me. Plus, I love like nature and the wilderness, and I think there's a lot of that going on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to visit.
I definitely do.
You've never seen anything like it. I promise you. Nobody ever has.
Yeah.
When I first moved here, I was in awe. You know, like there's some Anchorage is ugly, but what everyone says is Alaska is 30 minutes outside of Anchorage. And so you just start driving, and then like the drive to Girdwood, even from Anchorage to Girdwood, it's awe-inspiring. It's humbling. It's so beautiful. You can't even. I promise you've never seen anything like it. I promise. You have to visit.
Yeah. No, I definitely want to someday for sure. Sooner than later, hopefully. But yeah, I gotta get that guap too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speaking of, if you guys want to make some donations, I'll put a PayPal link in the chat somewhere. We'll have someone do it. Maybe my wife will do it. Maybe we'll make some mods for the first time, because I don't even have any mods. I've never made mods. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Give my friend money. Give my friend some money.
We're gonna split it in half. We'll split it two ways. Any donations, splitting it with Tony, because that's how we do it. That's how we do it.
That's nice. Thank you, man.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. But last time I remember I think I asked you about musical influences. I don't know if I asked you exactly, and I could be wrong. Did I ask you who your favorite MC is? Favorite rapper? Favorite MC of all time?
I hate rap.
Yeah. But you can rap.
Yeah, I'm the greatest, but I hate it. I guess gosh, I hate rap so much. I hate it so much. It's just penis music. It's just black people talking about their penises. That's all it is.
A lot of time
like, I did this with my penis, and then I did this with my penis, and then I did this with my penis, and I did this with my penis. It's just like, cool. Let me listen to this for an hour. But
that reminds me of the RZA line. My penis rises in the morning like a phoenix, and that's supposed to be like good hip hop. Even him, even RZA. I love the Wu-Tang Clan, but like
poem. What a cool poem about your genitals.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I don't know if I have a favorite rapper. I hate rap. I hate it.
Oh, that's great.
I think
that's
I'm
amazing.
My favorite rapper. I think I'm my favorite rapper.
Heck yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me think if there's any rapper that I like. I think you're my favorite rapper.
Oh, snap, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
You're my favorite rapper.
If I had to pick a favorite rapper, it's my top 3 is probably Dose One, the dude from Cloud Dead, and the dude that battled Eminem in Scribble Jam 97 and beat him, in my opinion. But then they both lost to Juice. But I think Juice had like pre-remembered raps in his head. Dose One battled Eminem in Scribble Jam 1997, the first Scribble Jam. They battled.
Is there a video of it?
Yeah, there's video. It's kind of like choppy audio, and it's like they were both kind of tired at that time. But Dose One was, I think he did better overall in that competition. Like if I were to place people in the top three, Juice won. The guy named Juice won, but he had raps like remembered in his head that he was using. Yeah. So did Eminem. Dose One was coming off the dome in the moment. I would say Juice won, Dose One got in second place, and Eminem would have been like bronze, third place. But yeah, they battled at Scribble Jam 97. So it'd be Dose One, Micah 9, number 2 from the Freestyle Fellowship. He's kind of unknown. Yeah, not a lot of people know him. It's a West Coast group, Freestyle Fellowship. They murdered people in like freestyle battles, but a lot of it's not filmed. It's just kind of in the streets, like word of mouth stuff.
You're more into the battle scene then.
I like battles, but like I'm not great at battling myself. I like freestyles and improvisation, and a lot of like the improv ended up becoming like battles. I just like that. I love the improvisational rap, and it's thriving now. Now we got people like Harry Mack, which is super dope rapper, who just walks around and like
Harry Mack's my favorite rapper.
Dude, Harry Mack's dope. Dude, he's got such a positive vibe. Doesn't really curse in his raps that much. Once in a while. And he's just like out there really freestyling off the dome. You can tell it's off the dome. You can't fake it when people are giving you like words and you're calling out stuff right in front of you.
Yeah.
You know? My third favorite rapper, maybe Idea. Yeah, he used to rap with like a Slug of Atmosphere. They used to tour together. He had a group with DJ Abilities. He battled in some of the Scribble Jams too. You'll know a lot of these guys if you watch the Scribble Jams. I think he won at least one Scribble Jam, and then he lost another one to Sage Francis. He battled Peace from Freestyle Fellowship. There was a lot of that going on in the Scribble Jam scene.
I'm going to start selling a shirt in my store. Shout out to my store. Go to my store.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to sell a
we'll
shirt.
We'll put a link in the description or something.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you remember those shirts in 2016 where it would like be like Biggie Smalls, Tupac, Nas, and it would like list all these legendary people in the rap group, and that would be the shirt? Do you remember those?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one that's like it's gonna go Bubba Sparks, Marky Mark, Vanilla Ice, Yellow Wolf. It's just gonna be all these white rappers. Who's the guy that who battled Eminem?
Dose One?
No, the MGK.
MGK. Yeah, MGK.
And just like
Everlast. Everlast. You can throw Everlast in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
That'd be great, dude. Didn't Marky Mark in the phone at one point, wasn't he like going around beating people up with baseball bats like an Asian dude while he was on PCP or something? Mark Wahlberg from Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Yeah. At one point he was like I think he was trying to earn some street cred, and he was on like PCP and running around with some hoodlums, and he beat somebody up with a baseball bat. I think it was an Asian guy or something. An older Asian guy.
Do you think? What kind of a name is Wahlberg, do you think? You think
Berg.
That's an Anglo-Saxon sort of name, or what do you think's going on there?
Berg. I don't know. Sounds kind of Amish.
A little bit.
Sounds a little Amish, huh?
Now he sells Wahlburgers.
Right.
He has a burger store called Wahlburgers. Also, Eminem has a spaghetti store called Mom's Spaghetti, and I did a whole thing about this on my show. Yeah, he named the store after vomit. That if you're buying food from that place, you're buying it. It's probably the first food since Indian food that's named after vomit.
Dude, I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know you had a place called Mom's Spaghetti.
Yeah,
this is news to me.
Yeah, that's real.
That's crazy.
Who would eat
there?
Dude, what self-respecting person would eat? You'd be like, "Hey, welcome to Puke Shop. Here's some soup. Eat it."
Where's that? Where do they have a Mom's Spaghetti location? Do you know?
Probably California.
Probably California.
That'd be maybe Detroit. Maybe in Detroit.
Oh yeah, that would make sense, right? That would make sense. The 8 Mile or something.
Yeah.
Wherever the heck that is. right. Well, I think we're coming to the end. I told people I was gonna end this with a freestyle.
I'm
Gonna
ready,
end this
dude.
with a freestyle rap, bro.
Heck yeah, bro. Let's get
So
'em. Let's
so you
get
know what?
these.
I'm gonna do it, dude. I'm gonna put my mind to it, and we're gonna freaking do it. I'm gonna get this laptop going here. Let me type in it. Pardon me, guys. I'm getting
You
my
get my
laptop
glasses
going.
on.
And then if it sucks too bad, we can also like do another freestyle and just edit it in.
Nah, dude. One take, baby.
One
We
take?
ain't
Oh
playing.
man, we're one taking it. Here we go. Let's see. Bob.
Your Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
What's it connected to? I think it's connected to this. So let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, bro.
We're going to turn up the volume. Yeah, you did. This is a hEllolisTENER beat.
How do you rap to this?
I don't know, dude. I'm going to find out. Yeah. How do you rap to this? I got distractions in my brain trying to take me off my path, and I've been bringing it since the beginning of the life. Kick a freestyle on the mic. I had a knife in my hand, chilling in the hood, trying to use it all up on the microphone, mega abusive, kind of elusive, trying to get away from the demons that been invading my brain since day one. I'm all up on the microphone, phase 1, 2, had a blunt or two in the past, and I'm trying to move into the future, maybe live in the present moment. I get up on the microphone and I've been steadily exposing powerful lies, powerful truths. Get up on the microphone when I'm inside of the booth. It's actually in the middle of nature where I'm chilling on the microphone. I do it. They used to paint me as a villain.
How are you this good at this?
I'm honestly a little rusty right now.
All right, do one more and then pass it to me. Do one more and then pass it to me.
All right. Yo. Pass the mic into the afterlife where I be going all up on the microphone. I do a freestyle and I'm flowing over the ocean. Maybe potion that I'm sipping on. Get up on the microphone, I'm clinging on the edge of the cliff and I be slipping again. I get up on the microphone, I seen a different friend inside of my head, inside of the dead, out of the ground, underground like a sewer, smelling mad like manure. I think I caught a flu or two in the past. I kick a freestyle and I've been moving too fast. They tell me to slow down. I'm smelling the roses. I'm speaking so profound. I don't have any pronouns. I'm just a dude on the microphone, and all these weak MCs I exclude. Trying to intrude inside of my brainium. I'm all up on the microphone, flowing out of the cranium. I make up new words. Blue birds be chilling. Outside my house, I got a new ceiling. It's reaching a new level. I seen a new devil, a blue devil up in the distance with persistence. I hit him up with the Jesus prayer. I get down and then I do it. You can't see me there. I'm in the middle of my sanctuary and my heart kick freestyles. I was named as Mark, a shark trying to bite when I get inside the waters and I'm treading. Steadily beheading. I be indebted. Yo. Oh.
I'm going to kill
wait,
you.
The beat. Here we go. The beat's back.
All right, I'm going to kill you. It makes me feel good to end a person's life. It fills me with a sense of power, and it makes me feel like a man. Do not cross me, for I am a murderer. You are just a regular person and not willing to cross that line because you worry about your soul. But I do not have such moral issues. I will perform murders to the people that I choose, and I might choose you. So tread lightly.
Tread lightly, don't try to fight me. Get up on the microphone, spikely, enticing and so enlightening. I get down up on the mic, the spice I bring. I spice it up a little bit and then I get up on the microphone and do it. Yeah, I've been here a long time. I'll be here a lot longer, stronger on the microphone. A white man to conquer. Where did you wander? Into the forest so I could chill for a second. Look at the vomit that I'm about to spill. Vomit spit, the bottomless pit that I've been in. The pit of snakes on the microphone. The sirens in the distance. They gone. Maybe they're in my head. I can't tell the difference anywhere. Watch where I tread. Feeling dread in my heart. Up on the microphone, I do it instead. I embark on a journey, a quest for truth. And then I found it profound, astounded, do it. And then I landed on this planet. I don't know if I belong here. My songs are weird. I get down and then I sneer in the distance at people without a... Yo.
You're my favorite rapper, bro. You're my favorite rapper. What's
Dude,
your
that
rap
beat
name?
is sick. I don't even have a rap name, bro. Isn't that wild? I remember I got up on stage one time and I freestyled and I was like rapping with like actual MCs that were like local legends. And I was like keeping up with them. And I got off stage and he's like, wait, what's your name? And I was like, Mark. And he was like, no, what's your rap name? I was like, I don't have a rap name. My name's Mark. He was like, hey, thanks, Mark, for rapping. It was kind of anticlimactic, but you know.
What
I don't have a rap.
What about
I could be. I could. Rat Tail could be my rap name.
Rat Tail is catchy.
Rat Tail is catchy. I know. The thing is, like, I was Rat Tail before I was Orthodox, and I feel like I did a lot of like, I was mean to a lot of people.
I was hEllolisTENER before I was Orthodox.
Right. I don't know, man. I feel like Rat Tail is like a persona that was kind of like there was a persona that came with like the Rat Tail name that I've kind of left behind.
Right on.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
But we need a rap name so I can put
but
you on
we do
my
need
new
a rap
shirt.
name. We do need a rap
I gotta
name.
put you on my new shirt, bro. I gotta put you on my new shirt. So
I know. I gotta come up with a rap name. Maybe you guys can help give me a rap name. Guys, put rap names in the comments. What do you want my rap name to be? Dude, if it's good, we'll roll with it, dude.
Let me give you some options. I have names.
Do you have a rap name generator on your phone?
No, I just write down names. You want to know my rap name?
What's your rap name?
Young Earth.
Young Earth, dude. That works, bro. That's official.
That's a good one.
That's official.
I got Mr. Video.
Mr. Video. Hey, that's kind of sick.
It was a video store near my house when I was growing up called Mr. Video. And you are like the VHS dude.
Right? That's kind of a cool name. That might actually work, Mr. Video.
Dude, I think that was serendipity.
That's got a ring to it. It's kind of like almost so simple that no one else would think of it.
It's sick. Dude, I that was the first thing I looked at.
That's kind of dope. I might have to sit on that. I might have to sit on that. You guys in the comments, you tell me, should my rap name be Mr. Video? Or do you guys have rap name suggestions? Put them in the comments. Let us know.
Say yes. Everyone in the comments say that his Mr. Video. Peer pressure him into being Mr. Video. It's the perfect name.
I might be Mr. Video, dude. I might have to do that. Because here's the thing. I'm just getting too old and I need to pick a freaking name and just go with it.
Dude,
this is
so good. And it makes sense. First off, it was the first thing I looked at. I have 100,000 names in my phone that I've written down. That was the first name I looked at. And you're like a huge VHS
You know
guy,
what?
And
you know what?
A persona.
You know what? It's official. My rap name is Mr. Video.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Ah, come on.
Bam.
Man.
Boom.
Mr. Video, this is your moment.
That's it, dude. Mr. Video. Mr. Video is born. Well, I'd like to think, you know, my mom's been a big supporter. Shout out to Mom Dukes. You know, she always believed in my raps. Always believed in my raps. She bought me lots of VHS tapes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, VHS tapes back in the day. I'd like to thank Donatello. Donatello was a big inspiration.
He used the stats.
Yeah. You know, and shout out to Jesus Christ, you know. Shout out to Jesus.
Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's all my thank yous for now.
Like when I
thanks to you guys.
Like this, I have when I push my glasses up like this, I look like Chairman Mao, don't I? I
don't know who Chairman Mao is.
He was like a Chinese king.
Okay. I could see that. I could see some Chinese king vibes going on.
Oh no, that's not him. Maybe whatever. There's some Chinese king that I look like when I do this. Whatever.
I could see that, dude. I could see that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anytime, man. Anytime. Well, dude, it's been freaking awesome.
As always, man. I love talking to you, bro.
Really good times, dude. I haven't laughed that hard in like my whole life, you know, in like a long time.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's always good. Good laughs. That's good for the physical and the spiritual. A little laughing.
Yeah. It's the best thing. What else we gonna do? You gotta laugh. The world's crazy. What can you do but laugh?
At a certain point, I think you gotta kinda, you know, you gotta like you gotta laugh, man. That's what you gotta do. It's really simple. Like I was trying to complicate it. I was trying to come up with some complicated explanation, but sometimes you just gotta like laugh. Like even if there's not a reason. Sometimes you just gotta smile, dude. Just like, you know, find the beauty in the chaos. Find a little piece of beauty in the chaos and latch onto that and just focus on it.
Can I shout out Ortho Thugs now? I was trying to.
Dude, yeah, shout it out to the max, dude. Ortho Thugs shout out, bro. I should have shouted it out in the freestyle too. Dang it. I meant to do that.
If you like laughter and enjoying yourself, subscribe to Ortho Thugs. It's okay. Thank you for letting me.
No, seriously though, dude. Funniest. I don't know if there's another. I mean, there's Orthodox people doing comedy, but this is like feels like an official Orthodox like comedy sketch. I don't know what's happening. It's rad though.
It's all live.
It's like it's at the beginning stages right now, which is really exciting because who knows what it's gonna like become from here. Like it's still like
invest, get in on the ground floor, people.
Seriously, that's what I'm saying. Like get in.
Very cheap right now, but they are projected to skyrocket.
No, seriously, dude, you want to get in while you can, because this thing is gonna blow up. Ortho Thugs is going to the moon. Unlike Katy Perry and all those other liars, Ortho Thugs is freaking breaking through the firmament, going to the moon.
Heck yeah, dude. Ortho Thugs is ascending. Mark Paicio's Hotel is ascending. hEllolisTENER is ascending. Jimbob is ascending. Orthodoxy is ascending. But the new Byzantium is on its way.
That's right, folks. So yeah, you should like get on the ark. You know, jump on the ark and we'll sail away and we'll listen to some yacht rock.
I'd like to offer you a seat on this raft. It's the only one that can get you back.
Me away. We'll listen to some Christopher Cross, Sailing, and we'll just be sailing away, dude, as the world burns.
Right.
You want to get on? You getting on or not? Getting on or not, guys?
Tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. Death is around the corner, brother. If you die before you die, when you die, you will not die.
That's true. Memento mori. All right, folks. It's been real. It's been awesome. I finally got my rap name. I'm Mr. Video. My boy, hEllolisTENER, has made it. He's YouTube famous. Check out Ortho Thugs, the show he's got with Jimbob. He's doing great. My man's thriving out here. It's beautiful to see. It's just cool, man. It's cool to see orthodoxy. It's cool to see cool people doing cool things. And I like it and I dig it. And I think you guys will dig it too. So we're going to put all the links in the description so you guys can access that. Ortho Thugs. First episode out now. Next episode coming what? This Thursday? Episode 2? Thursday, guys. Be on the lookout. Episode 2, Ortho Thugs on Thursday. I think it's every Thursday, right?
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday, y'all. That's what it is. All right, brother. Tony, it's been a pleasure as always. Love you, my brother.
Love you too, Paicios. Great to see you, man.
Yeah. Good times, good talks, good freestyles. It's been fun, man. I'm sure we'll do it again.
Yes, we will.
All right, brother. Over and out.